Hello, hello, and welcome to my channel. Nice to have you here. My name is Marlies, also known as Marley Design. And for the ones that are already following me for quite some time, you might think, where have you been the last couple of weeks? So let me explain just a little bit. When you have seen my last video, I talked about my sister-in-law. Her sister was in the hospital, very, very poor, with a septic shock. And unfortunately, she did not make it. Very, very sad story, because it only looked like she had a flu, got very sick, ended up in the intensive care unit in the hospital, and within, I think, let me remember, I think it was in 2 days, and it was totally over. And my sister-in-law already lost one of her sisters, and this is the second sister she lost. So it was, yeah, it was quite heavy. And my brother and sister-in-law have a little girl. She is 3.5. But for the ones who will have children or grandchildren at the moment, you can imagine how busy everything is when you have to arrange a funeral, a memorial service, and of course taking care of your family. So I tried to help them. So that is one of the reasons why I have not been on here. Second reason is that I had some deadlines that I had to finish, and you can only spend your time and your energy once and focus, on that one thing that needs your pure attention. And besides reason number one and reason number two, I have been teaching a class. We have had our national celebration of King's Day, and the well-known things like your household, your groceries, cooking and everything, and cleaning. So yeah, let's put this phase of this year to the side, and I can focus again on bringing you content and videos, new materials. And when I talk about new materials, look what is in front of me. One of the new stamp sets from Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous. This stamp set is called Curiosity Shop, and the number is CMS 482. Now let's see what is on my right side of the table. I have a little holder over here. It's just a plastic holder for like cards, credit cards or trading cards, something like that. And I thought I could also use this for small projects, for the moments when I do not have a whole lot of time, or when you just want to work on something small and not big and overwhelming. And I just shared with you my story of the last couple of weeks, how everything went. So I have been busy, and then I always think it is very relaxing and soothing to me, just to sit with an ink pad and a stamp set or two or three and just stamp and do not think about anything else. A second thing that I would like to mention is, when you do these kind of small projects, it is also in your advantage to get to know your stamp sets better and get a better understanding about how you can place the different pieces of stamps, and also you will get a bit of knowledge on which stamp sets you can combine and work easily together. This is already an example that I have created. I have stamped with the Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous stamp set Mini Glitch and the label frames. I did some masking, for example the circle. It looks like it is behind the label, and then this bottom piece or this upper left corner piece, those pieces look to be behind the circle again, and I really love that effect. It's so cool to have layers in your stamping. Then over here I changed my working method because I placed my label frames, the stamps, in an angle, and that is a bit more of a challenge on how you can fill the space in the back and also some pieces in the label frame itself. And then my last little card, no explanation needed, because it is in the same style and in the same working method as the other two. I will also quickly show you this page. You can see I only made 2 cards. I just opened the book again and I thought, oh, oops, I forgot the third one. So I have to get back in here and finish this up. But you can get a good idea when you look at those top two, and maybe you already recognize the stamp sets that I have used. It is the Field Notes stamp set and the Specimen stamp set, and also some pieces of the Wildflower stamp set. For today I will get out 3 of my cards and I will stamp with my new stamp set. And I will also use a masking technique. I have already told you about the stamp set that I'm going to use, the paper. I just want to mention that this is a watercolor paper and I'm going to stamp on the smooth side of the paper. And the ink that I will use is the Archival ink Black Soot. I also have a roll of sticky tape, sticky notes, however you want to call it, for my masking. I also need a small scissor to cut out my masks. I have set up a little workspace. I've put down a kitchen towel. On top is my watercolor paper. Let me start with the first small card. The first stamp of my choice is this pointy finger, and I will stamp it with my Archival ink Black Soot. Directly after stamping the pointy finger on my paper, I will also stamp it on top of my sticky note. After stamping on my sticky note and cutting out the pointy finger, I can cover my stamp with this mask. This stamp is my second choice, the little note, and I will place this stamp on top of the pointy finger. Right away after stamping on the small card, I will also ink up my stamp again and stamp on top of my sticky paper and cut out my mask. The smallest light will be my third choice, so let's stamp. Now I would like to fill up the blanks in the background, and I will use this stamp to do so. So maybe the first 4 numbers will go on top of the card, and maybe the last 4 numbers will go on the bottom. Let's find out if it will fit. Now let's remove all the masks and let's see what kind of detail the card could use. I think you will notice it too, like I do, that the note, it is quite empty. I would like something to be there for a filling. So let's take a look in our stamp set to see if we have some kind of text that will fit. For now our card is ready and I will leave it as is. But of course later on when you have like another play and you see some kind of area that you would like to see filled, for example this clear area, or you want something in the background over here, you can always go back and add more. Let's make a second card, and this will be my first layer of stamps. I have covered the stamps with the masks and now I am ready to stamp my second layer. You can see now I have lifted off my stamps. I have put on, I think, way too much pressure on the note. So the middle area is, almost black. So I have to come up with a solution to, some kind of way to fix that. For now I will first focus on the background. So I have placed my mask here and I have placed my mask here. And this is all the clear area that we have left, and I want that to be filled. I found my Mr.Rabbit stamp set from Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous, CMS 478, and this one caught my eye. So I will fill in the blanks in the background with this stamp. The background stamping is done, so I will remove the mask and take a good look at this small card to see what kind of details it still needs. The masks are gone And yeah, this area really is way too dark. I think I found a reasonable solution to cover this up. I will put some Distress Collage medium on top of the black area. Then I will sprinkle some embossing powder white super fine on top. Heat set that layer. And let's see after that if the result is more to my liking. I think for now that will do. Only little thing that I could add and I really like is a little quote in this area. I will make a third card so the set of 3 will be finished and they can go into my holder. I will start with the pointy finger pointing to the right. So these 4 stamps are on, also the masks are on. Now I will focus on the background. I will go back to this stamp and there is a reason for that. This was our first card and we used this stamp set in the background and also the pointy finger on the right side. Then we made this second card with a different background. To make this set complete, I will repeat some of the elements that I have used in my first card, also in my third and last card. So it will look like a set. That is also the reason why I have chosen to use the pointy finger again, but then pointing to the right. Also the note is a repetition and the little light bulb. Now let's finish this up with my background stamp. Now let's remove the masks and see what we have and if we need to give the card a bit more of attention or a focal point. Here you can see all 3 cards together and I have used the quotes, so I will repeat that also on the third card. That will be my first step. And then if I still have like clear area left on the note over here, maybe I will add another stamp, a word. All the 3 cards are ready and I've already put them in my holder and I think this looks beautiful. There was only one thing that I still want to tell you. The reason why I have stamped on watercolor paper is that watercolor paper can still be colored with your distress inks or maybe your watercolor pencils. And that could also be fun because right now I have only stamped in black and white. But how fun would it be if you can also color your stamped images? And you know, on this card it did not go totally well, not 100%, because you know the note, when I stamped it, I pressed the stamp too hard, so the middle section was also black. And yes, I fixed it with the embossing ink and some embossing powder. You could also start all over again and forget about the embossing. But I left it in here for a reason, just to remind myself it is okay to make a mistake and also that I can learn from my mistakes. So next time when I see this and I have this stamp set at hand, it will immediately come to mind that I cannot use too much pressure in the middle of this stamp. So it is also a good reminder. And the whole purpose about this holder is to explore your stamp sets, to get more handy with the different sizes and different images. to get a better view on what kind of stamp sets you can combine. And if that means you will have trial and error, yeah, that is what it is. Besides that, I also keep in mind it is just paper. So when it's not to your liking, get another piece, start over again, and maybe your second try will work out better. And you can see throughout this holder the front view, so the first page is stamped. Then you will see the white back, stamped images again, also a white back on the other side, and that is because I have stamped on the smooth side of the watercolor paper, and the other side, this side, is a little bit more irregular, bumpy, and that could give a little bit more difficulties with a crisp and clear stamped image. But for this side, with more texture on it, I also have an idea. But I will save that for my next video, so if you are curious, stay tuned. I hope this stimulates you to dive into your stamp sets, your stash of papers, and your stash of ink, and create images for yourself, and also maybe store them in a holder. For me, this process was very soothing, very relaxing, and yeah, just to get out of your mind and get into some creative flow. And that is also what I wish for you. Well, that was it for today, for this video. I hope you liked it, enjoyed it, and got some inspiration out of it. When you do, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Every little interaction on my video will help me get my videos in a better algorithm, and I appreciate it big time. When you want to know which kind of materials I have used, I will put all the links in my description box below, so you can check them out. Also in my description box you will find all my links to my social platforms, a link to my Ko-fi shop, and also a link to my Etsy store where I sell my digital kits for junk journaling. Thank you for watching today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!